identities. It's the politicization that's the issue. Leonard Leyland Faro says there are houses in Alaba and they live peacefully with the hosts. Why has it got to be only Igbos all the time? Well, that's his comment. We need to change tack. A whistleblower and an anti-corruption crusader, Dr. George Ubo, said he had submitted a petition to the International Criminal Court against former President Muhammadu Buhari and the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, over crimes purportedly committed against Nigerians with the implementation of the Naira Redesign Policy, or what I call Naira Recoloration Policy. Is this not a way of disturbing Mr. Buhari, who had begged to be left alone when out of office?
Well, one of the terrible things that the former president did that damaged his legacy, that gave him a bad name before some of his staunchest supporters, was this Naira redesign thing. The Naira redesign thing was targeted at some politicians. We've been told that it was actually targeted at Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, at the end of the day, it turned out a very stupid, very silly program, very silly policy that inflicted pain on innocent, poor Nigerians. How do you even convince yourself that you can stop an article, a Tinubu, from finding money to run their election? I mean, the people think like this. I have terrible words for them. I just don't want to explain how I feel about people incapable of thinking constructively. These billionaires in politics, they have considerable interest in banks. So the bank MDs are their friends. And you fool yourself that you can stop them from laying hands on the money that they need to do their election. I mean, it's a very, very silly thing to think about. The politicians, at the end of the day, found the money to do the election. Their friends in the banks saved some money for them for the election. But the ordinary people had no money. They got so angry and they were setting ablaze banks. On the day that they set ablaze Access Bank and other banks in Shagamu, if they had found that they pushed back into the system. So if you printed enough Naira notes and you got them circulated, how come as we speak, people are hardly even using the new notes? If you have 1,000 Naira notes, I can tell you that 3/4 of those notes will be the old currency. And he fought against his country. The Supreme Court gave an order that the CBN governor refused to obey because he felt he had the support of Muhammadu Buhari and the cabal. Where are those people today to protect him? If the International Criminal Court gets hold of him, former President Buhari will not come to his head. Because Yorubas will say, if they send you on a silly errand, you've got to use your common sense and do what is right. Some Nigerians could not pay the hospital bills of their relations who were ill. Some Nigerians died because they could not pay their way. I mean, they could not pay to have their sick people admitted in hospital. People had money in Zenith Bank especially. but could not even transfer money. They could not make transactions. They had their money and they were being given 1,000 naira notes, not enough to feed their families, and people were starving. That is a crime against humanity. So I'm not surprised that it's been reported to the International Criminal Court. I'm not surprised that he's been accused of crimes against humanity. Because when you look at the number of people that we lost, the number of people whose businesses were destroyed by the actions of a thoroughly incompetent CBN governor, then you will say that he deserved his fate. He absolutely deserved to be in the slammer where he is at this time. And he absolutely deserves to be sent to the International Criminal Court along with his principal, who was his enabler. But of course, his enabler, former President Buhari, claimed that it did not get in his way, that it did not stop him from obeying the Supreme Court judgment. When the Supreme Court wanted a stay of action, Emefiele refused. Emefiele refused. I wonder where he got his arrogance from. A man thoroughly incompetent, being that arrogant because you thought you had the support of the president. So I am not surprised that it's been reported, and whichever way you look at it, even if he doesn't get arrested in the end and taken before the International Criminal Court, it is on record that he waged a war against his countrymen and women. Right. He caused the death of many of his countrymen and women by the shitty implementation of a thoroughly thoughtless policy that he came up with. India also did this kind of thing, and they regretted it. They regretted it. It hurt the economy. I think in 2016, we always learn the negative from other countries of the world. We don't know what to imbibe from other countries of the world. I know when we want to learn, we learn in the wrong way. So I have no sympathy for Emefiele. Right. I'll be happy to see him taken before the International Criminal Court. Right. Because in fact, I will celebrate, buy drinks for people if that should happen.
Meanwhile, Ebenezer Obey, that's